All right. So, welcome to our Eastside Rap meeting, everyone. Happy Friday. This is where we discuss the impacts of homelessness specific to the east side of Santa Barbara. My name is Landon. I'm the Director of Programs with SB Act, and this is a partnership with the City of Santa Barbara as part of our South County-wide collaborative. So, we're joined by Barbara Anderson, the Senior Assistant to the City Administrator. We're going to start with just a couple general announcements. Number one is just a reminder that our next Eastside Rap meeting will be on August 8th. I know next week, probably many of us will be busy with Fiesta activities anyway, so we're not going to interfere. But we do meet every 2 weeks at 10 a.m. I am still really hoping we can figure out an in-person meeting time. I'm sorry this has been such a struggle, but we've just gone back and forth about a lot of different times and we're trying to coordinate a lot of different city departments and organizations too. But I have added kind of mid and late August dates to this survey. I'm really hoping that everybody on this call can take a few minutes to fill this out. I know we've done this before. It only takes 2 minutes, I promise. Let me see if I can put that in the chat window as well. And we've said this before, but it's just nice for us to be in person together every once in a while. I think it really helps our conversation. And it is in the chat for you all.
Landon, I think I offered this last time, but we're happy to use a neighborhood advisory council meeting on the east side to talk about homelessness too. So if you feel like that's a time that could work, it's Monday evenings on the second Monday of the month. And I think, yeah, our September 8th meeting is at Franklin. So just to put it out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, that may end up being the best option, honestly, at this point. So let's like go ahead and fill out the poll, everybody, but then maybe Barbara, I'll just touch base with you next
Yeah.
week. And I
Yeah.
think that seems like that may be getting the right people in the room
And we're
anyway.
trying to get more engagement in neighborhood advisory council now that we have enough members for a quorum. So
Okay, okay.
mutually beneficial, I should say.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. All right. I did also want to share just some kind of basic point in time count results that have been shared by county staff. Barbara, I don't know, do you know if there's a plan for there to be a city presentation at some point?
We've requested that, and so I will nudge Jet. I know their team is
Yeah.
understaffed and you're dealing with a lot, so I'll kindly nudge her. We had a great kind of two-page synopsis that was specific to the city of Santa Barbara every other year, so we're just asking for that same report.
Okay. Well, I'll just go over just some of the really quick basics because there will be time for more in-depth conversation later, but we did want to share these since they're getting out now. Um, so you can just see the changes year over year. As a reminder, the point in time count is just a one night count. So it's not a count of everybody who's experiencing homelessness throughout the course of the whole year. It's just one night in January each year. So it's not a perfect measure by any means, but it does give us a general sense of trends. Oops. So you can see from this first slide here that in the point in time count, we saw an increase pretty much countywide, a total of a 24% increase to about 2,400 people in our county. And the number in Santa Barbara increased, the count increased by about 60 people. Um, there's a variety of reasons for this. Again, that'll be kind of part of our more in-depth conversation. But you can see kind of that general trend upward over the last couple of years. Let me see if I can zoom this in. I apologize that it's so small. Why don't we do, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I'm going to share this a different way. All right. So you can see kind of some of the subpopulations in our county, and I think this is pretty important for understanding the increases that we're seeing. So the orange that you see on the bottom is the number of people that are actively out on the streets, not in vehicles, not in shelters. And the good news is that that number actually appears to be trending downward. Like we're seeing less people that are not that are just out on the streets and out in public. The other good news is that we do see more people in shelters. You can see almost 200 person increase countywide in the number of people that are in shelters. And this is thanks in part to the addition of more shelter beds and more cabin projects like Dignity Moves in La Posada. But I think the big number that we're really focused on is that there is a big increase in the number of people in vehicles. And I want to be clear, some of this is due to the fact that New Beginnings is really just doing a really comprehensive count that we haven't had maybe until about 2024. But I do think some of that is the reality that we're just seeing more people in vehicles in our community. Um, I'll keep going with this, but I don't know, Barbara, I want to make sure you have time for commentary on any of this too, if you like.
No, I think you're capturing it perfectly, Landon, in terms of what we're seeing. And then we're still seeing that increase among seniors with a restricted income as well as families with minor children.
So just showing, we are seeing increases in vehicular homelessness almost across the board in our county. So pretty much every single jurisdiction is having larger numbers. Again, some of that is due to just a better counting mechanism, but it is a large enough number that we think that it is reflective of some real trends. And of course, we've reiterated this in the wrap calls before. This increase in vehicular homelessness is not unique to Santa Barbara County. This is very much happening throughout the state. But it is something that we're, I think, uniquely attuned to here because we have the safe parking program, which is the flagship program in the country. And then just to show how we compare with other counties. So not every county has completed a point-in-time count in 2025, but you can see some increases throughout the state, a few decreases that are notable, but by and large, we're seeing numbers going up. And we're not unique in that regard. So there will be more in-depth reporting to follow, and we'll share the date when that is set for a city council meeting. But do you want to just open it up and see if there's any general questions right now while we're together? All right, we'll keep going then. So at this point in the meeting, we typically open it up for community members to share any questions or concerns. It looks like we just maybe have two today, but we'll go ahead and open it up. Yeah, Jose, go ahead.
Yes, my question is at Path, I'm just wondering how many of the residents there at Path are getting housing. And I do have one friend that's still there battling cancer, been in and out of the hospital like crazy, especially with senior citizens. And I'm just wondering if what's the situation, with senior citizens like my friend getting into housing. I know it's a difficult situation, but I'm just wondering, are there any improvements, for those who are staying at Path or any other places like Rescue Mission, Salvation Army, getting housed, especially with senior citizens? That's my question.
Oscar, do you want to speak to that a little bit, and then we can talk about kind of housing trends more generally?
So that's a really good question, Jose. I could definitely bring that back to the team and get back to you. Unfortunately, that is one of the programs that I don't oversee. So I couldn't really speak on behalf of the shelter. But that is really a good question that I could bring back to the team and get back to you.
Okay, thank you.
I think right now, kind of the way that I've seen housing work in my brief time working in homelessness is that we kind of go through these like ups and downs because it takes so long to build housing that, we'll have these periods where suddenly there's like three new developments in 1 year. And so you're able to get all these people in. And then it takes another year or two before there's another three or four developments. And so I'd say in this moment, we're sort of in kind of a slump year because there is several projects coming, like within the city of Santa Barbara, specifically for people experiencing homelessness. There's the Quality Inn project on De La Vina that won't be opening for quite some time. And then there's multiple projects out in Goleta that are hopefully, in late this year or into next year. So we're talking hundreds of people that would be able to move into housing at that point, but kind of in a fallow period at the moment.
I'll echo that, Jose. There's a lot in the pipeline, but it's going to be probably 12 to 18 months before we see that movement again.
So in the meantime, it just kind of slows the whole pipeline. So people get sort of stuck in the interim housing in the meantime. Great question. Any other questions or concerns from the community? Okay, not seeing any. Let's go to our service providers to check in. Oscar, we'll go ahead and start with you and hear from Path.
Happy Friday, all of you. Ready for the weekend. No major updates with Path. Still doing street outreach, going out, getting people connected. So nothing really major happening, but just getting people connected, case managing, and then just being a presence to our area around Path.
Thank you, Oscar. Let's go to Alondra with the CityNet team.
Good morning, everybody. No super major updates for us, but on East Beach, we've been seeing a good amount of individuals throughout the day. Most of them are sheltered and connected to case management, but we're continuing to try to look for those individuals that aren't connected yet and trying to get them connected. Um, the Milpas area has been fairly clear, besides a couple of people hanging out by Trader Joe's, which is tends to be kind of like the hot spot on Milpas. So we're just trying to continue to build rapport with these people. Um, the surrounding area around Path has been clear from what we've seen. Also, the past 2, 3 weeks, we've been assisting with the Caltrans clearings, which included the Milpas on and off ramps. And luckily, we were able to get one of these individuals who was getting cleared into shelter yesterday, which was a great success for us. But yeah, that's pretty much it for us and our team.
Thank you, Alondra. Let's go to Sergeant Beltran. Lieutenant Beltran.
No worries. Thank you. Um, yeah, not too many updates. Kind of just our same general patrols in the area. The one other thing I would say is that we kind of updated some patrols overnight with our patrol staff, not just the CAT team, in the area of Quarantina Cacique regarding a lot of the parking issues, because it's still just a challenge that we're dealing with. But we're getting a lot of help from our overnight staff with some of those and just focusing in that area. Um, Otherwise, I mean, I can't really think of a whole lot more. They've dealt with quite a few things on the railroad tracks and Chase Palm here and there, but nothing that's, I guess, significant or noteworthy.
And Lieutenant Beltran, can you speak to the staffing? Because I know you all were kind of in a hiring and training period.
Yeah, thanks for reminding me that our team is all pretty new. But we have two people, two CAT members on Sunday through Wednesday, and then an additional two from Wednesday through Saturday day shift hours. And tomorrow is going to be the first night of the two newest members that they're kind of like a branch off of our CAT team. They're not CAT, but they're going to be on the bike team, and they work 2 to midnight. Their area is like, I guess, more so focused downtown, only because during those hours, that's where there's busy times. But if we have anything, whether it's the east side or west side, any kind of other issues or problem areas that come up, that's their job to also address those things, because they're here during those hours. But we want their presence to be out there, obviously, where there's people and things going on. But they'll be around from 2 to midnight from now on, and they're going to be working Wednesday through Saturday, 2 to midnight.
Thank you. Glad to hear it.
Yeah.
Barbara, any updates you want to share from the city?
Yeah, and I wanted to note that our code enforcement environmental services team is Andrew's on leave. Dwight has been out, so it's been Brian and Liz Smith. So I apologize for them not being able to be here. We are continuing the litter removal, power washing along the Cacique and Milpas corridor. And I know that areas of the underpass have been impacted, so that is a regular route for code enforcement for us. Um, I wanted to take the opportunity to update folks on the SURF 3 contract. So this is encampment resolution funds specific to people living in their vehicles. So our latest update was 99 total individuals are enrolled in the program, which equates to 70 total vehicles. So that's about a third of the population, as Landon mentioned, regarding the point in time count numbers. And I will say in a year's time, New Beginnings has done incredible work to have that impact, specifically to the city of Santa Barbara. Of those enrolled, 24 are seniors, which is 62 or older, eight children, five families, 39 employed, 38 have a reporting disability of the total 99. Um, and the success so far is that 44 of the 99 have been in place into interim housing or shelter, and 52 are housed, which is close to 50% of those total clients. So I know it feels like there hasn't been improvements in vehicular homelessness in terms of the visibility. We still have a good number of folks that are living in oversized recreational vehicles that you see along Quarantina, Nopalitos, along Dwight Murphy and beyond. But I did want to share that they are getting traction, and we have another year of this grant program in terms of eligibility. So folks that are enrolled and that move throughout the area, those services go with them. So we're doing everything we can to place them in a housing option.
Thank you, Barbara.
Mhm.
Yeah, and for those who just joined the call, if you missed the talking about the point in time count, so we are seeing increases in people living in their vehicles throughout the county. That's kind of the one major subpopulation, people that are homeless, that is growing in our county, which is again not unique to Santa Barbara County, but it is really happening throughout California. So we really do have this SURF 3 grant just in time. But it is, it's not going to make the visible impact yet. So thankfully we still have that money for more time. Since we did have a couple people join the call a little late, I wanted to mention again, we are still hoping to do an in-person meeting. We may end up doing it as a part of the Neighborhood Advisory Council, but I am putting that poll in the chat window once more. I know I've had you fill it out multiple times. It's been tough to coordinate. So if you don't mind taking 2 minutes after this to fill that poll out, that would be great. And then I'll just open it back up if there's anything from the community that anyone else wants to share or ask about.
I'll jump in real quick. Um, so you just triggered a thought. So there's the guy that hangs around Dune. Which street is it? You know the one I'm talking about.
Yes, of
Coda.
course. Yeah.
Yeah, he just moved off of the fence line
Mhm.
and right into the alleyway, which isn't safe.
Yeah.
So that, noticed that when I was walking last night. I was at a meeting or a conference. It's called the Turnaround Management Association. They were here in Santa Barbara, and here's the connection. Those guys work with businesses that are closing or going bankrupt or that are in dire straits. They are busier now than they've ever been. And what that means is that there are going to be people who are going to be unemployed.
Oh, yeah.
And that means, ripple effects. So I wanted to mention that, and that was part of why I was walking on State Street, Barbara, the message that I sent you.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was going to that event. And that's all I have.
Yeah, we're definitely anticipating an increase in people experiencing homelessness because of the economic impacts of the current administration. We're also seeing going into 2026, the impacts on Medicare enrollment. People will be losing their benefits. So we're bracing ourselves for another round of, the progress that we've made, being ticked down quite a bit. So it's, I think we're all realizing that working in this field is a never-ending challenge. But we've had some success. We've had some success the last few years. And Natasha, before you got on, we're in a lull a bit in terms of new housing being available, but we're anticipating in 2026 that we'll have a number of new developments that will be back in the queue. And so we'll do the best we can to get people housed that have been waiting for housing for quite a long time.
Well,
Um,
congrats on progress that you mentioned earlier.
yeah, I mean, and we have a new development coming online for families. And like you said, when one person of that family is unemployed, it will impact their ability to stay housed. And we want more families to be eligible for housing units here too. So we're trying to do a little bit of it all, but bracing ourselves for what's to come for sure.
And this may be a very long-lasting thing in this
Yeah,
nation,
exactly.
the
Yeah.
way it's going.
Hmm.
Very, very profound consequences.
Yeah. Yeah.
It'll be hard to dig out of it after.
Yeah.
There has been a big refocus throughout our whole county, and the city of Santa Barbara is a big part of this, on trying to focus on prevention because we know that's probably the most cost-effective and efficient solution to homelessness. And so we're really going to be trying to work on that and also trying to help people who are just recently homeless because they're the people that are more easily diverted back into housing. So we're going to have to refocus some of the strategies for that reason. I do see, thanks, Betsy, there's a question in the chat about the Faro Center. So you're correct. There's a uh, to currently the plan is to switch to a referral based model. So I know SB Act is still working with the city on kind of what that will look like. That'll start August 1st. Um, yeah.
And I just want to emphasize too, the CityNet team is out there 7 days a week. So, the center being available for referrals, they can connect with an outreach provider and facilitate a referral to the center as well. So we want it to be accessible, but yeah, there are different restrictions we need to place on access to the center because of the neighborhood concerns and engagement that we've had. So we will communicate with all providers together once we have a final kind of approach for moving forward.
Sorry, I was asking if there's any other questions or concerns while we're all together. Not seeing any. If we don't see you before, everyone have a safe and enjoyable fiesta, and a great weekend. Thanks, everybody.
Everyone.
Thank you. Have a